In 1925, a man sold the Eiffel Tower. He didn't own it, he wasn't French, and the buyer paid in cash. 6 months later, he sold it again. The Eiffel Tower was built for the 1889 World's Fair, and here's the thing, it was never meant to be permanent. By 1925, it was expensive to maintain, starting to rust, and Parisian newspapers were openly asking whether the city should just scrap it. One of the people reading those articles was Victor Lustig, a Czech con man so smooth he gave himself the title of Count, on the theory that nobody checks. He spoke 5 languages, had 45 known aliases, and he read that article the way you or I read a lottery ticket. Lustig forged government stationery and appointed himself Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs. Then he invited 6 of France's biggest scrap metal dealers to a secret meeting at the Hôtel de Crillon, the fanciest hotel in Paris, because nothing says legitimate government business like a hotel suite. His pitch: the tower's upkeep was ruining the city budget, so the government had quietly decided to sell it for scrap, 7,000 tons of iron. But because the public would riot, the deal had to stay absolutely confidential, which, conveniently, is exactly what a con man needs you to think. Lustig wasn't looking for the richest buyer. He was looking for the most insecure one. André Poisson was new money, desperate to break into the Parisian elite, and Lustig played him perfectly, including a stroke of genius. He hinted that, as a government official, he'd need a little bribe to close the deal. Because nothing convinces you a corrupt official is real, like corruption. Poisson paid for the tower, paid the bribe, and Lustig was on a train to Vienna with a suitcase of cash before the ink dried. So why didn't this become a manhunt? Because Poisson was so humiliated that he never reported it. Telling the police meant telling all of Paris he'd bought the Eiffel Tower from a stranger in a hotel room. He chose silence. And this is the answer to the question in the title. Nobody stopped Lustig because his victims would rather lose a fortune than admit they'd been fooled. Lustig, meanwhile, was scanning the papers for the scandal. When it never appeared, he drew the only logical conclusion: if it worked once. 6 months later, he came back and ran the exact same con on 6 new scrap dealers. Same suite, same fake letterhead, same speech. But this time, one dealer smelled a rat and went to the police. Lustig, allegedly with another deposit already in hand, skipped the country and sailed for America. In the US, Lustig sold money printing boxes to greedy marks for thousands of dollars. Boxes that printed exactly 2 real-looking bills and then nothing. He even ran a con on Al Capone and walked away not just alive, but tipped. Eventually, the Secret Service caught him in 1935 for a massive counterfeiting operation. The day before his trial, he escaped a federal detention center in New York by climbing out a window on a rope of bedsheets, pretending to be a window washer, waving at pedestrians on the way down. They recaptured him a month later and sent him somewhere with fewer windows: Alcatraz. He died in custody in 1947. Under occupation, his death certificate reportedly listed apprentice salesman. The Eiffel Tower is still there, never sold, despite Victor Lustig's best efforts. History is full of people like him, too absurd to invent, too embarrassing to report. If you want more of them, subscribe. It costs less than a tower.